disturbing me. In fact, I'd much rather talk to you than work. Yet here I am, day after day, consumed with one thought. I must write. I must write. I must write. This is my study, the room in which I do my writing. I built it myself, actually. Cut all the logs, fit the timber, made a terrible mess of it. I do my writing over here, at the side of the room, because the desk is directly underneath a hole in the ceiling, and I can't move the desk because it covers up another hole in the floor. And the floor is built to the side of a hill. So on heavy rains, it tends to slide down. In fact, many of the days I've stood at my window and passed my neighbors in the street. But still, I'm happy here. Although I don't get enough visitors to suit me. People tend to shy away from writers. They assume we're always busy thinking. Not true. But even my dear sweet mother tiptoes up the stairs and leaves my food outside the door as not to disturb me. I haven't had a hot meal in years. But I've done a good deal of writing up here too. Perhaps too much. Sometimes I look out my window and I think that my life is passing me by at a furious rate. And I ask myself, what forces it that drives me to write so incessantly, day after day, page after page, story after story? Well, the answer is quite simple. I have no choice. I'm a writer. Sometimes I think I might be mad. Oh, I'm quite harmless. Though I do admit to fits of wandering. Often in a conversation, I hear nothing and see only a silent moving of lips and respond with a meaningless, yes, yes, of course. All the while I'm thinking, you'll make a wonderful character for a story, this one. Still, while I'm writing, I enjoy it. And I like reading the proofs too. But as soon as it appears in print, I can't stand it. I see a mistake. Something's wrong, and it ought to have never been written. And I am miserable. But then the public reads it. Yes, charming, clever, but a far cry from Tolstoy. Or a fine thing, but Turgenev's Fathers and Sons was better. And so will be to my dying day. Charming and clever, charming and clever. Nothing more. And when I die, my friends will pass by my tombstone and say, ah yes, here lies so-and-so, a good writer, but Turgenev was better. It's funny, but before you came in, I was thinking to myself, why not give it all up? But what would I do instead? Well, I've never freely did this before. Do you here in the audience tonight? I'm going to tell you what I'd most like to do with my life if I weren't a writer. Ever since I was a little boy, I always Oh, I'm sorry, I'm making an idea. A note for a new short story. I'm sorry. What were we talking about? No matter. My thoughts are consumed with this new story. It starts in a theater. It starts on the opening night of a new season. It starts with the arrival of all the dear, devoted patrons of the arts, commenting on how this one looks, and how, ooh, that one is dressed. I scarcely know the play they're about to see. With the exception of one man, Ivan Ilyich Cherdyakov. Now, Ivan Ilyich Cherdyakov, a civil servant, a clerk in the Ministry of Public Parks, had any passion in life at all, it was the theater. He also had his home and fire office, and had dedicated his life to hard work, patience, and zeal. but still he would not deny himself his one true pleasure. So that night he purchased 2 tickets for he and his wife in the very best section of the theater for the opening night of Rose House, the Bearded Countess. And as fortune would have it, into the theater that night came his respected superior, General Mikhail Brasilov, Minister of Public Parks himself.
Good evening, General.
What? Oh, yes. Good evening.
Permit me, sir. I'm Cheryakov, Ivan Ilyich. This is a great honor for me, sir.
Yes.
Like yourself, dear General, I too serve the Ministry of Public Parks. That is to say, I serve you, who is indeed himself the Minister of Public Parks. I am the Assistant Chief Clerk in the Department of Trees and Bushes.
Ah, yes. Keep up the good work. Lovely trees and bushes this year. Very nice.
My wife would like very much to say hello, General. This is she, my wife, Madam Cheryakov.
How do you do?
My pleasure.
Oh, my pleasure, General.
How do you?
Madam Bazila, my wife, Madam Cheryakov.
How do you do, Madame Bazila?
How do you do?
I just had the pleasure of meeting your husband.
And I am my wife's husband. How do you do, Madam Bazila?
Sorry. Terribly sorry.
I hope you enjoy the play, sir.
I will, if I may watch it.
Feeling quite pleased with himself, making the most of such a golden opportunity, Cheryakov sat back to enjoy the Bearded Countess. He and the Minister of Public Parks were no longer strangers. In fact, they had become, if you were to be generous about the matter, familiar with each other. But then, quite suddenly, without warning, like a bolt from a gray thundering sky, Cheryakov reared his head back and...
Achoo! Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so terribly sorry.
Never mind. It's all right.
All right. How can it be all right? It was unforgivable. Permit me to rub your neck, sir.
Leave it be. It's all right, I say. You make too much of the matter. Let it rest.
But how can I let it rest? It was an accident, I assure you, but it's disgusting.
I'm sorry. My apologies.
The thing is, Your Excellency, it came completely without warning. It was out of my nose before I could stifle it.
Hush!
It's not a cold, if that's what you're wondering. Probably just a particle of dust in the nostril.
But try as he might, Cheryakov could not put it out of his mind. The sneeze, no more than an innocent anatomical accident, grew out of all proportions in his mind, until resembling the angry roar of a cannon aimed squarely at the enemy camp. Cheryakov played the incident back in his mind, slowing the procedure down, to review it again, in horror, the infamous deed.
Charming.
Yes, charming.
Charming. Simply charming. Wasn't it charming, my dear?
I found it utterly charming.
I was completely charmed by it.
Excuse me, Your Excellency.
Who's tapping? Somebody's tapping me. Who's that tapping?
I'm tapping, sir. I'm the tapper. Cheryakov.
Stand back, dear! Oh, sneezer!
No, that's all right. I'm all sneezed out now. I was just concerned about your going out into the night air with a damn head.
Oh, that. It was a trifle. A mere faux pas. Forget it, young man. Amusing play, don't you think? Did you find it amusing?
Musing? Oh, oh yes! So true! I haven't laughed as much in years.
Which part interested you the most?
The sneeze. When I sneezed on you, sir, it was unforgettable.
Forget, young man. Come, my dear. It looks like rain. I don't want to get my head wet again.
You shouldn't let people sneeze on you, dear. You're not to be sneezed at.
I'm ruined. I'm ruined. They'll have me fired from trees and bushes. They'll send me down to branches and twigs.
Come, Yvonne.
What?
You mustn't let it concern you. It was just a harmless little sneeze. The general's probably forgotten it already.
You really think so?
No? I'm scared, Yvonne.
And so they walked home in despair.
Maybe I should send him a nice gift, perhaps some Turkish towels.
Cheryakov's once promising career had been literally blown away.
Why did this happen to us? Why did we go to the theater at all? Why did we stay in the balcony with people of our own class? They love sneezing on each other.
Said Yvonne.
Perhaps, if I were to go to the general and explain matters to him in such a charming, honest, and self-effacing manner, he would have no choice but to forgive.
Maybe it's best not to remind you.
No, no. If I ever expected you to become a gentleman, I must behave like one.
So the morning came. It just so happened that today was the day that the general listened to petitions. Since there were 50 or 60 petitions ahead of Cheryakov, he had to wait for morning.
Too late. Afternoon. Next. Next.
I'm not next, Your Excellency. I'm last.
Very well then. Last.
That's me, sir.
Well, what is your petition?
I have no petition, sir. I'm not a petitioner.
Then you waste my time.
Do you not recognize me, Your Excellency? We met last night under rather explosive circumstances. I am the splatterer.
The what?
The sneezer. The one who sneezed. The sneezing splatterer.
Indeed. And what is it you want now? I presume knife.
No. No, Your Excellency. Your forgiveness! I just wanted to point out that there was no political or anti-social motivation behind the sneeze. It was a non-partisan, non-violent act of God. I curse the day that Portugal formed itself on my case. It's a hateful dose, sir. A hateful dose. And I'm not responsible for its indiscretions. Understand what's true to the crime, but absolve the innocent body behind it. Exile my nose, but forgive me in conscience. Forgive me!
My dear young man, I'm not angry with you, no. I'm too busy to have time for your nasal problems. I suggest you go home and take a hot bath, or a cold one. Take something, but don't bother me with this silly business again. Gibber, 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 that's all I've heard all day. Gibber, 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 gibber.
Oh, God bless you, sir. God bless you, and your wife, and your household. May your days be sweet, and may your nights be better than your days.
The feeling of relief that came for Cheryakov was enormous.
May the bird sing at your window in the morning, and may the coffee in your cup be strong and hot.
The weight of the burden that was lifted from his shoulders seemed inestimable.
I worship the chair that you sit on, and I worship the uniform you wear that sits in the chair that I worship.
He walked home singing and listening like a lark. Life was surely of marvel, a joy, a heavenly paradise.
Oh, God, I'm happy!
And yet,
Yet,
when he arrived home, Cheryakov began to think.
if I've been the butt of a cruel and godless joke,
And the minister toyed with him.
if he had no intention of punishment, why did he torment me so unmercifully?
If the sneeze meant so little to the general, why did it deliberately cause Cheryakov to writhe in his bed?
To twist in agony the entire night.
Cheryakov was furious!
I am
He
furious!
called and viewed the case in that room. When morning came, he called out to his wife, Sonia!
Sonia! I have been humiliated!
You, Yvonne? Who would humiliate you? You're such a kind and generous person.
Who? I'll tell you who. General Brasila, the Minister of Public Parks.
What did he do?
The swine. He humiliated me in such subtle fashion, it was almost absurd. His kind was equal only to his cruelty. He practically forced me to come down to his office, to grovel and beg on my knees. I was reduced to a shivering idiot!
You were that reduced?
I know what I must do. I must go down to his office and tell him what I think. The lower classes must speak up. The world must be made safe so that men of all nations and creeds, regardless of color or religion, will be free to sneeze on their superiors. It is he who will be humiliated by I.
And so the morning came, and Cheryakov came to humiliate he.
Next. Last. Well,
Well, you say? Do you not recognize me, Your Excellency? Yes, you're quite right. It is I, once again.
it is you once
Cherryokov, Excellency. I have returned, taking neither a hot bath nor a cold one.
Let this filthy man in. What is it?
What is it? What is it, you ask? You sit there behind your desk and ask me, what is it? You sit there, you lofty position, as general and minister of public works, a member of high standing among the upper class, and ask me, a lowly civil servant, what is it? You sit there, knowing full well that there is no equality in this life, that there are those of us who serve and those that are served, those of us who obey and those that are obeyed, those of us who bow and those that are bowed to, and in it, like certain events take place across some of us who be humiliated, and others who are the cause of that humiliation. And still you ask me, what is it?
What is it? Don't stand there gibbering like an idiot. What is it you want?
I'll tell you what I want! I wasn't so wrong that to get 15 I wasn't sure I made it clear. It was an accident, I will show you.
Out! Out, you idiot! Fool! Imbecile! Get out of my sight! I never want to see you again! If you ever cross my line of sight again, I'll have you exiled forever! What's your name?
Jerry, oh,
You germ spreader! You maggot! You're insect! You are lower than an insect! You are the second cousin to a cockroach! The son-in-law of a pet dog! You are the nephew of a ringworm! You are nothing! Nothing, you hear me? Nothing! Ah!
At that very moment, something broke loose inside of Cherryokov. Something so basic, so vital, so organic. The damage that was done seemed irreparable. The matter was over. For once, for all, forever. What happened next was quite simple. Cherryokov arrived home, took off his coat, lay down on the sofa, and died.